Today is leg day. I had the gym all to myself pretty much, which was definitely nice. So I began with the safety bar squat, or the SSB. Now, the safety bar squat has not been an exercise that I've done or had in my inventory for the last 2 years. And the reason one is I never had access to one since, and I don't really see much of a point in them. However, the main squat rack with the normal Olympic bar was taken, so I thought I may as well give it a go. Use it as a warm-up and put 70% effort in. And the centre of gravity on this exercise is a little bit special. It's a little bit off-putting, so it makes the exercise a little more harder. It's meant to be easier on the back, but I felt that the upper back around the traps was annihilated by the weight, so I only did 3 sets here whilst I was waiting for the main squat rack. So this was my warm-up. Got up to just say 100 kilo, but definitely a challenging exercise, but I think it's probably worth doing later on in my programme. So now the normal squat bar, the real squat bar, is unmanned. I capitalise and I get into the squat rack. So I'm already fired up and ready. I'm on 60 kilos here, making it look and feel quite light. I felt very ready today, and the principles for today's leg session is a Dorian Yates HIIT session. So I do a couple of warm-up sets as I'm doing here, and then 1 set to absolute failure. The 60 kilos was my warm-up set, and then the 100 kilo here is a set to absolute failure. Throughout the whole of this workout, I was working to about 8.5 to 9 RPE, rate of perceived exertion. So I wasn't going to the max until I would faint and pass out. I was just going until it got very uncomfortable, where the next rep I would potentially need a spotter. So I get around 10 reps here, which after I believe 3, maybe 4 sets of squats in total, definitely was a good effort. And I wanted to carry on this formality throughout the whole workout with the Dorian Yates high intensity. I'm on the fence about doing a big bulk this year, commencing towards the middle to the end of August, and I want to adapt my training program to suit that Dorian Yates heritage. Not just because he was a great bodybuilder, but because, wow, it's a great muscle building tactic, which I believe in quite a lot. And on exercise number 2.5 now, but main exercise number 2, I'm doing the hack squat with a resistant band, and the band stops the sticking point at the bottom, as it is a real dead zone on this piece of machinery. I've got, I think, 2 20s or 2 15s on there, nice and light, and then I get 2 20s on, and this is where the magic starts to happen. This was going to be my last set, but I thought it was a little bit light, still had more petrol in the tank, but still gave it a good battle, still fought it with a good 70% of my maximum effort. This exercise, I like to begin with a very narrow stance, almost like a Hindu squat, with your heels tied together. But as you go heavier, this is a lot more dangerous and more fragile on the knee. So on the last set, and I believe this set, I've got a wider stance than the last set here. I thought I could do about 10 reps here, but it wasn't as hard as I thought, so I ended up doing a drop set for 3 sets, and this was a real good killer. This was exactly 100% effort. This was a 10 RPE, so I was very happy with this. And in the past, this would be probably the end of a workout for me, but I still have plenty of energy and petrol in the tank for a couple more exercises, so I'm just stripping the weight off here. And what a great exercise. I don't know how old it is. It looks prehistoric, this piece of machinery, with the war marks on it and the dents and the scratches, but crikey, what a piece of equipment. It beats anything you find in modern gyms these days, and especially at the moment during summer. Although we haven't had the best weather in England, it's been very humid, and humidity and heat definitely makes it a lot harder to breathe, especially on a leg day. I take it back down to the original weight of my first set, and I try and push a little bit more from the toes on this last set here as I'm lighter, and this will really go Tom Platt style, working the sweep as well as the inner teardrop of the quadricep. Then I go on to this exercise here, and I thought I'd be quite inventive and do single leg, not leg extension, leg presses. And this has a very similar feel to a lunge, but compared to a lunge, you don't have to use your back as much with this as a lunge for stability, but also the time under tension and constant tension is unbelievable. The abductor and the inner side of the thigh, the inner quadricep, as well as the hamstring are under fire here. And I do a couple of 3 sets here in each leg, and then on the final set I do reps on each leg, then both legs combined together with a slightly heavier weight to failure to keep the pattern going with this high intensity workout. What a great exercise this is. I've done it previously on different variations of leg press. This is like a quarter leg press, very small foot pad. I didn't think it would be very efficient, but I had the pad as close to me as possible and the actual bench as forward as possible, so I was really squeezed in. I'll go beyond parallel, beyond 90 degree on these extensions, and what an exercise, very, very powerful. And coming off this, I could feel that the inner quad had been worked a very good amount, a very lethal exercise. I definitely would put this towards the end of a workout next time, just because you've got to be very warmed up and you've got to be very able to get the best amount of mobility here. So these are my last sets. I've got half a stack, and I'm really trying to stretch right at the back but also extend the leg and contract without completely straightening the knee. I'm just giving myself a little bit more help here. As I say, I want to go to as close to failure as possible. And then I'll switch legs pretty quickly and get on with it with the right leg. I was going to take it easy on myself and do leg extensions or leg curls. However, firstly, someone else was on it, but I thought, you're not going to get big legs by taking the easy option. Isolations, as important as they are, I rarely do them. Leg extensions is as far as I'll go for an isolation for legs. Maybe leg curls occasionally if I'm feeling it, but I think it's more important to go for compound exercises like leg presses or squats. So now I'm doing double legs, both legs on the leg press, really eking out the last few reps here. Really painful these were. My feet, everything, my calves were hurting. In fact, on this it was such an effort, such a grind I had to put the body through, but well worth it and well worth the risk of trying this exercise. And the final exercise is the Zercher. This is probably one of the latest exercises I've learnt, and what a great exercise. I want to do a whole video just specifically on this exercise because it is an absolute tank. You can work your back and your legs and your traps, everything on this. So this marks the end of today's leg workout. So if you've got this far, please remember to subscribe and like this video. It really helps me out and grow the channel. And I've also got a book out there, Bodybuilding for Teens. It's not just for teens, it's for everyone. So do give it a read. It's just in the description, and I'll catch you next time for another grueling workout on Doughty Fitness.